Hello again. This is Paul Frazier from Western Ohio Bigfoot Research, and I just wanted to pop on here real quick to talk about my headphones that I use. I've mentioned them a few times in videos, but I thought I would, now that I'm pretty familiar with them, I'd give a little more detail on them. Uh, I have this recorder, this is my Zoom recorder. I've learned over time that I used to carry it in my hand all the time, and I didn't realize how much noise that it was making just having it in my hand. If I just moved my hand a little or whatever, it made a lot of noise. So I started putting this recorder on my head on these headphones. I wear these all the time when I'm out, and I use these rubber bands. So in case you wonder why these rubber bands are on there, that's why is to hold this recorder on there. So that way I always have it going if I'm out and something happens, hear a sound or whatever, I will catch it if I have the recorder going. And these are the headphones. They're actually made for hunting, for hunters to wear, and they have some circuitry built in that amplifies the sound around you. It has these condenser mics on both sides, and the that amplifies all the sound around you with those two condenser mics. And with them being on both sides like that in stereo, you can actually tell the direction of whatever you're hearing. You can get pinpoint where it's coming from. And they also have this kind of a nice feature. They have this auxiliary jack right here, 1/8 inch plug, standard plug. So I've used these actually before to at sitting around a campfire with my parabolic. I'll plug the parabolic into here so I can be listening to it as well as whatever's around me with these. And the idea behind these are it's a what it does, it amplifies the sound around you, but it also will block out like the sound of a gunshot. That's it protects your ears from that's why they're for hunters is it blocks out a really loud sudden sound like a gunshot. It blocks it to protect your ears. So the idea behind it is that you and your buddy could be sitting in a hunting blind and you could whisper back and forth real quietly, and with these you'll hear each other just fine. But if one of you takes a shot, your ears are protected. And there's a company called Walker which also makes these, and I think they're called razors, like a razor. And I think the only reason I looked at both, I did some research on YouTube of people that had used both, and the biggest difference was, I think, if I remember right, the main reason I picked these was because of that auxiliary jack. I don't think that the Razor has that. I don't. I'm not. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think they have that. And these are nice because they'll fold up like this. You can wait a minute. There we go. You can fold them up. They're very compact. Don't take up much space when you want to pack all your gear. So that's another nice feature. And they're pretty comfortable. And I worked in construction for 35 years, so my hearing is not the greatest. Plus, I was in band in school and played guitar with loud distortion a lot, and so I've done my fair share of damage to my ears. So these really help for me because I have that ringing in my ears all the time, and with these, even just sitting around a campfire having conversations with people, I can hear so much better when I'm wearing these. They can be deceptive though, like when I was in Massachusetts with Ernie and we went on that hike to where he had his encounter. I had these on and I was videoing and I could hear him great, everything he was saying, but on the video you can't hear it as well. And these are kind of deceptive because you got to remember what you're hearing when you have these on is not necessarily what your camera is hearing. It's not picking it up as well as these do. So kind of bummed because when we went on that trip, I had bought two lapel mics for that purpose. I was going to have Ernie use one of these recorders in his pocket and have the lapel mic clipped on him so be able to hear everything he was saying really well to go with the video. And I went out on October Mountain the whole night. I didn't get back till uh, like 5:30 in the morning. Is when I got back to camp, and then I slept for like 2 hours, and then met with Ernie, and then to go on that hike. And when I got there, and I started to give him the lapel mic and this recorder, I realized I didn't have a card in it, so couldn't use it. That's so aggravating when you don't have your card in something and you get there and realize it's useless. So I'm trying to get in the habit. I've got a little case, a little plastic case that has all my memory cards in it. And I try to get in the habit of always having that with me for that reason. Because there's been times with cameras and things I've got out there and, you've hiked a ways from the car, or you may not even have it in the car. It may be back at the house, but I've get out there in the field and go to turn it on and realize, oh, there's no card in it, which is one of the nice features I do like about my thermal is the fact that it has 16 gigabyte built in, so you don't need a card. The only thing you need to worry about with that is to make sure you clear it. If you've used it a lot, you got to make sure you clear it so you don't run out of memory, but it doesn't need a card, so that takes care of that problem. The other thing I want to talk about on this video real quick is this Bluetooth speaker I picked up recently. There's a store called Ollie's, Ollies, Ollie's, and they're all over. I don't know if you have one near you, but I've seen them around quite a bit. And I'd never been in one, but I recently, well, I guess it's been a couple of years ago now, that I decided to go in one for the first time and just, they're kind of like a Big Lots or Odd Lots, that type of store. They have all kinds of just random stuff, and prices are pretty decent, and it's cheapo China stuff. But anyway, I went in there the first time I went in, and right when I walked in the door, they had a table there with a display set up of Coleman camping stoves for $30, and I bought one of those, and it's been great. I had one years ago I bought, and believe it or not, it uses unleaded gasoline. You pour unleaded gasoline in this little chamber, little tank it has, and it has a thing you pump it up to pressurize it. And I just didn't like the idea of cooking my food on with unleaded gas. I didn't like it. So anyway, I bought this new Coleman that uses propane. Coleman's camp stove. It works great. $30, can't beat it. So anyway, a couple weeks ago, we were out and we decided to stop in the Ollie's. We were wanting something in particular. We were going to see if they had it there. My wife was going to get something. And so I went in with her and I thought, well, I'm going to look and see if they have any Bluetooth speakers. I had a really nice set of Bluetooth speakers. They were like $70 and they worked great for years, but for whatever reason, they won't charge anymore. So I can't use them. So I decided to get another one. And I'm kind of excited about it because when I was in Pennsylvania, I was going to try this experiment. I set up a fake campsite right by a creek, and it was a pretty good hike back in there to where it was at. And we set up, I was with my friend Tommy Cooper from Cryptovania, and we set up, the place was called Bog Hollow, so that kind of made it interesting too. But it was, the hollow was where this creek was at. We had to hike down there to it. We set up the tent, set up a camping chair next to it, and inside the tent, I had used my old phone at that time and I had recorded, or I had it on a little micro SD in my phone, the Gospel of John in Cherokee. That particular area in Pennsylvania was more Iroquois, but I couldn't find the Gospels in Iroquois. Couldn't find it anywhere recorded in Iroquois, so I just used the one I had that in Cherokee, and I had it in my phone, and then I had a little speaker that plugged into a USB. So I plugged the speaker into my power bank, and I had my phone going, and we left it there all night playing through that speaker. And I came back the next day. We had to go back the next day and get it, and I didn't hear anything on the recording. I had a recorder close by. There's some movement. You can hear something moving around and stuff, but nothing really that would be definitive. So I really wanted to try that experiment, but not for just one night. I wanted to do it for several nights, but it just wasn't feasible where we did it. And using my phone will only last so long, and then it dies. And then same with the speaker and the power bank. So I got this, and I didn't know it when I bought it until I got home. This is only $10 at Ollie's, and I'll just show you real quick. Put it on here. What I like about this is it has a slot here. I always get it mixed up. This is your everything's backward. This is your USB-C plug, standard plug. This is for a micro SD, and then this I think is you can like charge your phone off of this if you want to. But this micro SD, what I like about it, I got this. This is the SD card that I had the Gospel of John in Cherokee. If you put it in here, all you gotta do is put the card in, and it will start playing. So that's the Gospel of John in Cherokee. And the good thing about this speaker, I'm going to take that card back out. The good thing about it is I can plug in to a power bank right here while this is on and playing. This can be plugged into a power bank, which will keep it charged, and it'll play while it's charging. So that will make this last a whole lot longer doing it that way. So eventually I'm going to try that experiment again in a location where I can leave it for several days instead of just overnight. And I don't know, just see what happens. So I just wanted to tell you about this particular speaker. It's made by a company. I probably have it upside down. Yep. It's called Biconic, like iconic. It's got a B in front of Biconic is who makes this, and it's $10. And it does all right. I mean, for $10, you can't really beat it. So just wanted to mention that in case you want to try a similar experiment. Go to Ollie's and look for this, or you probably find it on Amazon. Oh, and now that I'm mentioning that, I did want to also say, I'm glad I thought of that. Almost forgot. When I was doing my research on these, I found out there was a guy who ordered a pair of these off of Amazon, and when they weren't the same. And what I don't know if you know this, but Amazon does not police the stuff they sell, and like your natural products, like your natural oils or herbs or things like that. There's lots of companies like from China who will make the exact same label. They make it look exactly like the product, but it's not that product. It's a cheap version of it that they make, and they sell them on Amazon. And that's what happened with him. They'll 3D print this, and it looks exactly like this. It looks the exact same thing, but the electronics in it are not as good, and it's junk. These were like $60. So I just want to say, if you do decide to get you a pair of these, or from Walker, or anything like that, don't get them on Amazon. Go buy them directly from the company that makes it, because otherwise you may get some cheap knockoff that looks the same. This is called Impact Sport. is a is a particular model of this, and it's made by, I guess it's made by Honeywell, but Howard Leight is the brand. So just want to let you know about that, and thanks for watching.